Hi everyone, I'm Sarah, Childhood Finds, if you haven't joined me here before, and today we're going to do a super fun video, at least to me. So it's going to be another research video, and these are definitely probably kind of my favorite, obviously. And this one's going to be about big money books, and more specifically, it's going to be about books that our favorite movies and TV shows are based on. And so big thing that I look at is, so to make these the most possible for you to find, I made sure not to look at signed, and I made sure not to look at limited edition, leather bound, anything like that. I wanted just the basic book, the basic, typically first edition books that you can find out in the wild. So I want it to be fun, and I also want it to be educational and possibly help your business if you're a reseller, or if you just enjoy these, that's awesome too. And so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm sure there's gonna be more parts to this series. Do me a favor, because there's always the debate about if the movie or show lives up to the books. If you have read the book and seen the movie or show that one of these is based on, put in the comments what you think is better. I think that would be fun, and debate with other people. I think that would be fun to have in the comments. So go ahead and do that after you watch, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first one, I couldn't do this first video without having a Stephen King, of course. He is a very prolific author, and many movies and shows have been based on his works. So this one we're going to go over is Carrie by Stephen King. And this is, I believe, a first edition, first printing. And so let's first look at the Terapeak. I don't have Terapeak open for all of them, but I did for this one because the price range is so vast. So as you can see here, we have ones going up to $2,900. But then we also go down to $2,500, $1,900, $1,800, $1,700. So this is a big price difference. So it's definitely something you have to look at your condition and all the different aspects of your book. So that's something to consider, but you can see that, I mean, $1,500, $1,400, all great prices. And we're gonna look at one now up close that just sold in the last few weeks. And so you can see this one is Stephen King, true hardcover, stated first edition, Carrie, P6. So what that is referring to is a gutter code. So especially in Stephen King books, you'll see in these early ones gutter code mentions. And it's a great help to you in identifying the book you have. So let me see if they show a picture. Yep, so there it is. So typically in the last few pages of the book, you will find that gutter code. But let's look at the copyright. So here it is. It's stated first edition. And so this one sold for $1,500, which is, I mean, that's amazing. That's an amazing price for this. But I also brought up that Carrie, these early Carries also still hold value. So obviously not near the value as the first one, but I did want to show you a book club edition that also sold for $65. So I think that's also an amazing profit if you're picking this up for a few bucks. And let me show you what the copyright looks like, if they have it. Oh, and there's a gutter code as well. You can see that right there too. So it's different than the P6. Well, I'm not seeing a copyright, but you can see on the dust jacket that it does say book club edition. So that is what that is, and $65 is still great. Oh no, I apologize. It sold for $57. So when I looked on Terapeak, I saw that this sold for a little less. So $57, still amazing. And this one, I'm excited about. I'm excited about all of these. I can't help it. This is great. So this one's going to be Jurassic Park. So I'm gonna butcher this last name. I told myself you should look up how to say this before you start this video. Michael Crichton. So Jurassic Park by Michael C. is also a good value book. So the first edition, first printing, you can kind of see on this Terror Peak page that $125 is a price that we're seeing frequently. And you can see the dates. So this one sold in August of 2021. And then we also had one in July of 2022 and November of 2022. So $125 is definitely a fair price. And I would definitely put these books into the $100 to $150 range, depending on condition, of course. And so let's look at this up close. And this is what the first edition, first printing cover looks like. This one specifically sold in the last 3 months for $110. And the copyright shows that it's a first trade edition here. And so a great profit. And so the second book in this is Lost World. Lost World does not hold the value that Jurassic Park holds. And it's probably maybe $10 to $15 is what you're looking at for that book. So you can definitely find that one. And I saw a ton of people lot up Jurassic Park and Lost World together and get a good value, which kind of brings up a premium value because a collection you can tend to ask a bit more because you give the convenience of having them or all of it together. So let's look at this next one that also has to do with Jurassic Park. So this is Jurassic World. So this is an omnibus edition, and that essentially means more than one novel in it, and that's going to be Jurassic Park and The Lost World. So it's both the books into one big book. And this one sold for $21.99. I actually just found this book in good condition and have mine listed for right around there. So yeah, I paid like 25 cents for mine. That's an amazing profit. If you can turn $1 or $2 into $20, I think that's great. Not everybody's business model is like that. Or just if you want to collect, it's an awesome thing to add to your collection. I'm partly considering it because I sold my first edition Jurassic Park I found, and I have regrets about it. So I'm considering keeping it. We'll see. So the next little series I'm going to show you is actually, if you've watched my videos, you know that these are mine, that I found them, but I want to show you they sell, and I have good feedback on all of these books. So they're all great. They're all good sales. So they went through, nothing bad happened, and this is great money for these. So this is going to be Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. And so this is going to be based on the Outlander series, or the Outlander series is based on this book. And that series is done by Stars. It started in 2014. Its 7th season starts in June. So I waited a while on the first 2 of this series that I sold because I was just going to wait for the market to go up, because you'll notice, I'll show you later, how a market, when the new season or a new series starts, you're going to watch it tick up. So it's worth it to wait. Also, do consider these higher value books. It's okay to, if you want to get really good value for your book, just wait it out. I can't tell you how many offers I got of $60 and how many messages I got telling me that it's not worth what I'm asking. But I just waited until I found an amazing buyer that actually bought 2 of them out of the first 3. So it just took a little time, and it was definitely worth the wait. So this one sold, I took a best offer of $215, and I paid $4 for this. So definitely look for this, especially because I believe they're going to be doing 8 seasons and then the show is over. So there's going to be another season after this one coming out in June. So that market's still going to be chugging along and going to probably peak during the times new seasons get released and then go down a little during the lull. So keep that in mind. There's still plenty of time, and this will stay popular because of the show too. The second in the Outlander series is Dragonfly and Amber, and this person bought it for $145. and they bought this one from me, got it, left great feedback, and then that's when they made the offer on the other one, and that's why I took a little bit less on it, because I already knew the buyer was happy, pleased with my first product, so I was happy to sell it for a little less to them to, you know, just know that I'm giving it to a good buyer and to someone that really wants it. So these are definitely around the values you're gonna get, dependent on condition, of course, and you could get a little more on these. Dragonfly and Amber, I'm pretty high. I'm relatively high, but you could definitely get a little more dependent on condition on both of these books. But this is right around this is a good value for them. And then this is Voyager. I sold this one for $45. You can get more. I sold it for $45 because I had bills to pay, and it was a nice buyer. They were happy with it, but I should have waited, but still a great profit. So it's just fine. So it goes Outlander, Dragonfly and Amber, Voyager, Drums of Autumn, and then there's more books. But those are the first 4. The first 3 that I'm showing you are the ones that hold the most value for you, though. And so let's go to our next one. This one is Game of Thrones. Of course we have to include Game of Thrones, my friends. So this one that I'm showing you sold for $500. And a lot of them I was seeing $400 to $600 is a great range. And some people right now are offering them for less. And I think that has to do with the fact that the show ended, but there's lots and lots of spin-offs. Well, not lots and lots, but there was House of the Dragons, I believe. And that's going to come, and then I think they're going to start another one here soon, or at least start filming for one soon. So these prices are going to peak and valley. They're going to peak and valley over and over because of the different shows, but I would definitely ask. I would just wait and ask for a good price on this. So they got $500 for this, and it looks like it's a very nice copy. We can look at here, we can see this is the first printing. I've researched this book before, so I can confirm this is a first. On my Outlander series, I do have a video I can link down below that does go over how to identify first edition, first printings of that book. And then we'll go to the second one. So in the Game of Thrones series, or in that series of books, we have a Game of Thrones, then we have a Clash of Kings, and then we have Storm of Swords. So a Clash of Kings, this one sold for $90. Awesome profit, and you can even tell there's a little bit of wear on it, so it's not perfect. And yeah, and they said that in the description as well. You know, minor wear along the edges, but $90 is nothing to sneeze at for this. And this is the first. We can look at our copyright, maybe. Here it is. Also, you can see that one is the lowest there. So first edition, first printing on this. And then we'll look at the third one. And this is A Storm of Swords. And this one is $63. And I also want you to consider you can still find these hardcover books, and you're not going to get as much value, but if you find ones that are book club editions or very later printings, you can always lot them up. And then you get a premium for having more in a set. So always consider that too with these books. You don't have to just have the first editions, first printings to have really big money. Okay, the next one. So this one is, I've talked about Anne Rice in my other videos. So this is going to be Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. And I just wanted to show you the Terra Peak that we're really trending at this high 300s. So 350, 375s. This is a good trending price for this book. You can see we got a little lower down here, 310, 300. And those ones, it might be dependent on condition or just people asking a little less. But I would definitely ask at least for 300 if I found one of these. And let's look at this up close. And here it is. It's from 1976. Let's look at the copyright page here. And it says first edition. I have found on these Anne Rice ones, they do When it says first edition, it typically means it's a first printing, and then they'll say if it's a later printing. So I have the next book I'm going to show you a later printing, and it says it straight in the book that it's the 5th impression or something along those lines, I believe. But let's see, this one sold for $370, exactly what it shows. And so this is going to be, the movie was Interview with the Vampire in 1994, but they did also start a show in 2022 that's also based on this series. So do realize this might go up in some value, especially because we got a new show based on it. And so let's look at the next one. In the series of Interview with the Vampire, we also have The Vampire Lestat. And so I found this one, but it's a later printing. But even the later printing, I'm asking, I think, at least $30 for it. And it looks like it got run over by a tractor, the one I have. But they can still hold value, the later printings. So don't get discouraged if you don't find the holy grails of each of these. And so we can look at the copyright here. And there it also says first edition for you. And so that's also in the same series as Interview with the Vampire. And then we have The Queen of the Damned, and this is in the same series, but we also have a movie based on this one, Queen of the Damned, and that was done in 2002. This one doesn't hold a ton of value, but I kind of like the movie, so I just wanted to show you. But $35, you could get up to, I think, for $50 for this one, is kind of what I was seeing trending, but this is one that sold recently, and it sold for $35 plus free shipping. Keep that in mind. So $5-ish for shipping. So it's like selling it for $30 plus shipping, essentially. Our next one is going to be Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. And of course, we're looking at the Red Dragon movie in 2002. There's also a show called Hannibal that was released in 2013 that went for a couple seasons. It was pretty good. I watched it. It wasn't bad. And so this one sold for $54. I saw some trending higher. So I think it just kind of depends on people if they've waited for the value or not. But 54, that's kind of a good median for us to look at. And so that's a good price. So keep your eye out for this one. But then we also have another one by Thomas Harris, and that is going to be The Silence of the Lambs. I also sold this one. It was a first edition, first printing, and also have regrets. So I'm that, now that I'm slowly collecting a couple books at a time, I'm thinking of the ones that I've sold and I'm saddened by it, but hopefully I'll find them again. So I found this one. I found a first print, and I also found a third print, and I sold both of them for good money. I think I sold the third print for like $30 or something, and I sold my first edition for, I can't remember exactly, but good money. So this one sold for a best offer of $70. I'm really bothered by the fact that they say it's brand new. I would never say my books are brand new unless they were sealed in plastic. And that's just me. So that's not everybody, but I just feel like that's opening yourself up for issues, that if there's any sort of tiny flaws. So let me look at the copyright here for you. And here it is, first edition. Can confirm, because I've had this book, that this is what you're looking for. If I ever get the book again, I will make a video on it, but yes, that is what you're looking for. And there's of course a movie in 1991 that was based on this, called The Silence of the Lambs. Next one, these prices are gonna just blow your mind. This is going to be the Wheel of Time series, and this is going to be by Robert Jordan. It is many books in this series, and they just started a show in late 2021. So really, really good value on these if you find the first one. So we're gonna go over the first 3 books in the series. This is going to be Eye of the World, and just look at the prices. Look at them. We have one here that sold for $3,000. $3,000. And then we have one here, $2,900, $2,500. It's crazy, but I mean, amazing. It's amazing. I mean, just, I would physically shake if I found this, which I actually do when I make good scores. I start shaking. It's not a good thing. It makes me a very noticeable person. But yeah, so $2,900. But we do see that some of the prices are going to be less, dependent probably on condition and dependent probably on what people are asking. So the one I'm showing you is sold for $1,575 and they did an auction. So I don't blame them for doing an auction. I understand. They started it high, obviously. Let's see what the bids actually were. Am I going to make my computer explode here? Okay, so they started the price at $1,500 and it got up to $1,575, which absolutely, that's a great price. You know, I totally understand it, but I wouldn't have started it on an auction probably, especially when others were selling for as high. But it's a good looking copy. Again, brand new. That physically is painful to me that they did that, because this is a book from 1990, guys. I mean, it's 33 years old. I wouldn't label it as brand new. Again, that's just personal though. Not important, personal preference, so ignore that. Let's keep going to, let me see if I've got a copyright here, my friends. There it is. Oops. So it says first edition, and this is what the copyrights have looked like on the books I've gotten before in this, so I'm pretty comfortable saying this is correct and right. So this person they made an amazing profit, so good for them. That's the thing about auctions, is sometimes they might have gone way high if they had people battling it out. But, you know, it's hard to find two buyers in 7 or 10 days of an auction that are willing to spend thousands and thousands. So I probably would have put it on a fixed price with best offers. But this is great. It's amazing. Next one is going to be The Great Hunt. And I remember I found a much later printing in the thrift store, but I know the cover, and that's what I'm kind of showing you, is I want you to see the covers and know what they look like, because I saw the spine just sitting on the thrift store and I beelined because I know what it is. And it's still worth good money, even though, again, looks like a tractor ran over it, but still gonna hold a good value because it is technically a first edition, I think 7th printing I have. But this is The Great Hunt. This is the second in the series. And we're seeing prices in the high up to 1,000, kind of that 9 to 1,000 range. We're seeing a little less down here, like a 705 here. And I did notice, so I tried to find one that was recent and I couldn't. So I'm going to show you a later printing on this one, but I just wanted you to see the prices. So 700, 900, etc. Ignore this. This is a set of books. And then let's go to that one. And so here is a first edition 4th printing, and it did sell for the $134.99 that it's showing. And here we go. We can see 4 is the lowest in that number line, and 4th printing, $135. Amazing, amazing profit. Then we'll look at the next. Ooh, this I wanted to show you. So this, I wanted to reiterate why you kind of see peaks and valleys in the values of these books. And so right here is going over, this is the 3rd book in the Wheel of Time series, and that is Dragon Reborn, the graph of sales. But notice here that we start to kind of go up in the average value right around this October time to, let's see, February. And this is in 2021. And guess what? The series was released November of 2021. So we started to see an increase as it got close to the date, and then as it released, and we can see a peak up in January during the show as it was airing. and then we kind of see it coming down again. But I have a strong feeling when they release the next season, we will see another good shot up as people have a renewed interest in the series. And so let's look at the book. And so here it is, Dragon Reborn. If I find a Robert Jordan in this series, Wheel of Time series, I pick it up. You can always lot them together. I do, all the time, and it's great money. It's fantastic. And so this is the first edition, first printing. Here we can see it from 1991, first printing. And it sold for what's shown here at $149.95. So I hope this was enjoyable to you guys. I look forward to doing the next one of this. Remember to make those comments down below and like it if you enjoyed this. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I want to take a big thank you to all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you and value your time. I have enjoyed so much being able just to chat with different people and hear different experiences and opinions, and it's been absolutely delightful. So thank you. I'll see you on the next video, guys.